Boom, boom. We're on British Bears. Coming to you from another land. The British Bears Show. Another kind of fan. Bears fans all day. Bears fans all night. 365 days. 5,000 miles away. Hey, hey, hey! The British Bears. The Irish Bears. The German Bears. The Polish Bears. Wait, what? We are bears. We are bears. We are bears. Fans. The British Bears. The British Bears. Welcome to the British Bears.
Welcome to the British Bears Show. And now your hosts, C-Dub and Jason UK Bears.
Well, thank you, Walter Payton, for introducing us. Very nice of you to do that, sir. Welcome to the British Bears podcast. My name is Chris Watts. This is my co-host, Jason. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm great, mate. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. You know me, mate. Always slightly on the downer, but good to be with you today, mate. And it's always good to talk about our Chicago Bears, man.
Yeah.
And us as well. I still love the intro. That's such a cool intro, Mr. Shorty. Thank you for that. It just gives me the feel of Jim Morrison. So that's a beautiful thing for me.
There's a little thing about that intro. Can I just mention quickly?
Yes.
The intro, there's two things that I always think of. One is that that bit at the end, that Shorty made that, us cheersing the pints, didn't he, from when we met?
Yeah.
I get a little bit unnerved by the fact that when I turn to drink my pint, I look like I'm just staring at you. It unnerves me a little bit.
I noticed that as well. I noticed that after we drink the pints, we
And I'm
sort
just
of
staring
both
right into your
turn,
eyes.
smiling, look at each other's eyes. And can I just
The only-
assure the public that
The only
that
other
thing
one,
happened in real life, that's AI. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that was just AI, and that's how it was. But yeah, the British Bears Show, man.
the other thing, sorry, mate, I've got to interrupt while I get the cat out of the way. It's the other thing I love as well about the intro is when they show that Keenan Allen touchdown against the Lions, which was the longest one of his career, and I love that. It just reminds me of being there because I was at that game, and Keenan Allen did that touchdown and ran straight at us. We were sat in that block right in front of the end zone there, and I just remember it like yesterday that that ball coming over and there Keenan Allen running it in right in front of us, and just warms my heart. But yeah, anyway, thanks, mate. British Bears, welcome. Over to you.
And also as well is that it always cheers me up seeing that celebration of yourself, mate, at the Jaguars game last year. And any time I feel a bit blue, I just put that on and I think, God, that is a sheer human joy. Look at that, man. He's just living in the moment and enjoying it to the max. So, the British Bears Show. Sorry, go on, mate. Hello?
Did you not see that?
I
played it. I just played it.
Look at the smile. Look at the smile, man. But yeah, anyway. The British Bears Show, man, giving you Chicago Bears coverage with a British accent. But also the idea of the show is to get people from British fans or anybody outside America really who are a fan of Chicago Bears to come onto the show when the regular season starts to discuss their fandom, how they got into the Bears, and obviously we could talk about the game. So if anybody's interested out there about coming on to the show, then please get in contact. Do you know how to get in contact at all? Yes.
The email address is in the show notes. It's BearsCountryProductions@gmail.com.
I'm glad one of us has got a brain in this partnership, and it definitely ain't me.
Between us.
So so if you fancy coming on the show when the season starts, then get in touch, and we'd love to have you on. And it'd be lovely to get like people like from Britain who got into the Bears like in the 80s, like we did, really. And I know there's a lot of Bears fans out there, so don't be shy. Come on the show, you'll have a brilliant time. So yeah, get in touch if you fancy doing that. But yeah, let's move on to the Bears versus the Chiefs, the last preseason game. The Bears won 29-27 in a great fight back action, coming back from a big deficit. What were your initial thoughts of the offense, Jason?
Obviously disappointed with a slow start. That was not what we wanted to see. I guess I don't know. I don't feel too bad about it. It would have been nice to see him keep rolling, but part of me feels like I don't know. It's good that it happened. I think in a way, because it's going to kind of give you a bit of a boot up the arse to just have a look at yourself, see what went wrong, something to work on. I think sometimes it's not a bad thing. It's against let's say the a team that made it to the Super Bowl last year, so it was always going to be difficult. I think quality opposition. But yeah, the disappointing start. But you've had a 2-minute drill at the end, didn't he, to get us back in the game? Caleb,
right.
At the end of the second quarter. So he put it right to a degree. And then the finish was brilliant. I enjoyed obviously you love a comeback win, don't you, in the fourth quarter? Yeah, it was awesome. Well done, Tyson Bagent. Pleased with him.
Very much so. I mean, regarding Caleb, he were 11 of 15 for 113 yards and a touchdown. And yeah, I completely agree. It was such a disjointed, slow start to the offense, really. And it's something which the Bears have sort of had a problem with that for the last sort of 2-3 years. But the great thing is that Ben Johnson had taken the starters out after, say, the second drive. He's gone. He's obviously thought, well, this isn't good enough. Show me that you can go back into the game and improve, and march down the field. And I think really by the third drive, they were just starting to connect again, really getting into rhythm. And then obviously by the fourth drive, he got the touchdown pass to Roma Dunze, which I was so happy about. So yeah, I agree what you said really about Caleb, really. They were against the ones of a team that have just been in the Super Bowl, hostile environment. But yeah, how he sort of turned it around, Caleb did by the fourth drive. I was really happy about that. Yeah. He showed character and also his skill level and also his leadership. And also as well, Tyson Bagent, like you mentioned, what a week for Mr. Tyson Bagent, getting his $10 million 2-year contract the couple of days before, and then he went for 20 out of 28 for 212 yards and three touchdowns. Yeah. And the thing what really sort of stuck me about him was just how in control he was with the offense. Especially the last sort of 2 minutes of the game, he were in complete control, and that's what everybody says. Everybody says he's when he's in the building, he's really serious. He gets his head down. All right, Dave Bears, I've seen you on X a few times, mate. I hope you're well. But yeah, I'm just really sort of pleased with his performance, and it completely justifies the Bears giving him that money. And it was so sort of it's such a cool story, isn't it? We're living these dark times at the moment where all we hear is bad things, and it's so nice to hear a story like Tyson Bagent, a guy who comes from a little backwater place, plays at a small college, like he said, like his dad didn't even have running water until he were in high school. So for somebody to come from that background and then make it like he has, and one of the good things was as well, he said, so many people are going to benefit from.
Dave, he can now afford to get a plumber for his dad. Brilliant.
But like you said, a lot of people are gonna, he's gonna help a lot of people, with his money, and that's really refreshing to see. Both quarterbacks. Caleb started a bit dodgy, but I think really both quarterbacks played well. If we get on to the rushing, it was good to see Swift out there. He got, he had 7 carries to 28 yards and a nice hurdle, which I'm always a little bit debatable about hurdling, because to me, I'm like your old school, because I played with him back in the 80s. I'm a bit more like you get your shoulder down and you try and either dodge somebody or just put your shoulder down and run somebody over. So I like it. It looks good, but I always think, oh man, they're going to get injured doing that. But it was good to see Swift out there. The running backs, B. Brown, he got 13 carries of 27, and R. Freeman, he got 5 carries to 22 yards. What did you think about the rushing? Also the offensive line played quite well when it came to rush, I thought.
Yeah, not bad. I think they were okay. I think it's. I would like to see them do a bit better, but as I say, some of the stats weren't incredible, were they? But it's. It's steady. I thought just kind of average. Yeah, I love the hurdling. I'm happy with that. I like a bit of showboating. I played a little bit of tailback as well myself at one point. For the second team I played for. It didn't last very long though. I had my ribs broken in the second game, so that was the end of that. But yeah, so but no, I love a bit of that, bit of bit of showboating.
So now you're gonna tell me that in my second game I hurdled like 4 people.
No, I didn't. I never did that. No, but it was just. Yes, I agree with Evie. Actually, I was pleased with the signing when he got it, because I always saw him tear it up against us playing for Detroit. But yeah, I just thought his rushing tackle was okay. The line did decently. Don't mind this little fella. Cat's just joined me.
Evil black cat.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it was all right. It was steady. Like, nothing spectacular, I think. But Squeegee says at least now they have good tape to improve on both sides. So I'd call the preseason overall a success. Yeah, absolutely. I think
I agree, mate. I agree.
I think Johnson is a details man, and I love it. I love the way Ben Johnson runs stuff. So I think they'll have got what they wanted out of it. We're going to talk about the cuts in a minute, aren't we, after this game? But someone's already mentioned, I spotted the comment to see that Jade Walker is in the 53.
Right.
Which I'm very happy about.
I am as well.
Isn't he? Yeah, but again, we'll talk about that. But no, I think what are my notes here? I think a lot of the notes I've made of people are no longer on the team, guys. Like I said to you in the pre-show. Oh, that guy did this. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, and that guy did this. He's gone as well. It's like, yeah, so, I was a little bit surprised. I know we're going to talk about after. I'll talk about the game. Come on, Jason, focus.
Focus, brother. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. But offensive-wise, it was okay. But, second half much better. Tyson, like I say, ran the offense really, really well. I think we've got an excellent backup, and he's. I loved his press conference. It was just proper emotional, wasn't it? And it kind of reassuring that in this day and age of like all these, these guys coming out of college as multimillionaires with the NIL money and stuff, that for some people it still means a big deal, just from their family. And I love the fact that in his press conference, I think I wrote it in because I watched it on the Bears YouTube, and I said that it says a lot about the young man. That one of the first things he said was about how many people he can help back home with that money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What a top man. What a lovely fella. Yeah. And like I said, Rob Pohl said it in the game, didn't he, before when he was talking to the press, saying that there's no one works harder than him in the building. So, So let's see. Let's see what happens. I can't really. I'm a bit discombobulated now because the roster cuts are in, aren't they? So let's do that. Let's do that. But we got to pad it out to get a show. But I told you my stat bomb this week is a belter. So.
We're doing all right. We're sort of on normal speed. So receiving card as well. Like Robert Dunze got a nice short touchdown pass. He got 3 for 45, and then Walker, who we both love, he got 3 for 37. He got his touchdown, and Moron, he got 1 reception for 14 yards. I do like Walker's celebration, the skywalking thing. Nice, I've never seen that before. That was amazing.
He did it on the previous game, didn't he? When he got
I thought that's really cool, man. I thought, well, can I do that? And then I thought, no, you're 52 and you probably dislocate so much, so that would try it.
Yeah, keep your bloody gritty. Keep your gritty. We'll show you what it's about.
But yeah, also he wears like the best number 20 out of my old play number 20. So I've always have a soft spot for anybody wearing number 20. But yeah, I think overall, thinking about the entire sort of pre-season, I think the offense really proved that the scheme works. They just need to iron out the little mistakes, like the pre-snap mistakes and delay games. But just the overall offense, how the offense looks, how players are spaced out, and the routes what the wide receivers running just looks so much better than anything we've had over the last sort of couple of years. Yeah. So I think we can take a lot of positives from the offense, from the pre-season. We've got a lot of yardage in every game, and we scored. I mean, you think about how terrible our scoring was over the last sort of 2-3 years. It's just nice to see, thinking that we can score regular once we get into that zone. But yeah, anything more you want to touch on regarding the offense?
No, you nailed it. I think, mate. Just I'm the same as you. I'm really impressed about how it's just the operation. I think there were fewer penalties in this game. Definitely weren't there in terms of, some of the like false starts and the like delay games and stuff. Yeah, my wife was watching a bit of it with me yesterday when I was just going through it, and she said, "What happened there?" And it was about the false start, and it was literally Colston Loveland just dropped his arse about 6 inches. Yeah. She's just like, that's ridiculous. Why is that? I says, yeah, but he can't even twitch. He can't move. You've got to be straight. And he says, yeah, but it doesn't move. It's stupid. So yeah, she now knows how ridiculous a false starts are and how tight you got to be with it. But
he didn't go out. No, leave through. Then again, you are newly married, so I suppose you haven't got to that point yet.
Exactly. But no, offense looks good. It's slick. It's creative. I think we're going to see much more as the season goes. He hasn't shown his hand, but I am super excited for what we're going to see offensively. Yeah, it may take a few weeks to get rolling. I don't think we're going to be worried about that at all, because it's cool. I know that he came out the gate. Everyone talked about his record when he first became the OC at Detroit in 2022. They went 1-6, and it's like, well, yeah, but one of those games they scored 45 points and lost, so it averaged a huge amount. It was 2 games. They got shut out on one game against the Patriots. I told you about that, didn't I? A couple of shows ago. Mm-hmm. And then there was another one he got 6, but he was averaging, so he's got 27, 35, 45 points. So, yeah, let's just see what happens. I'm just excited for football, man. I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome.
I know, not long, mate. Not long. Yeah. So we'll move on to the defence. I wasn't impressed with the number ones at all, especially on the defensive line. We got no pressure on the quarterback at all. They were sort of run up the middle quite easily on us. It was just a lack of pressure on the quarterback. I mean, I didn't see Sweat really do anything all in that game. The only sack we got was big cuz Andrew Billings, which is a bit of a good thing. It's like a personal thing, because my co-host on that tailgate show, KB, it's his cousin, and I've actually spoke to Andrew Billings, and he was such a nice guy. And I don't like what you were about Bajan. I asked him, how once you become a pro and you played a few years, is it still special? Game days. And he went, oh yeah. He said, that's what you do it for. You do it for the game day experience. You're in out in front of the fans, and you're playing a sport you love. And I really sort of made up with his response, because I were a bit like you, going, he's a multi-millionaire. They really sort of care like we do, but they do. You know what I mean? And they love the game, and love, and he's a real good guy as well. But yeah, I was really sort of disappointed with the defensive struggle.
Yeah, totally. I agree with that. We chatted about that. Yeah. Armando, Chris, and I mentioned that just before we came on, that we mentioned that. I think there's a clipping going around about the blocking. The people were saying about a block in the back on Domrov. But it wasn't actually that was the problem. It was the fact that he was being held before the guy came and leveled him from behind. So it's always the way in it. It's the Chiefs. You could talk about Foster's conspiracy theory about the Chiefs, but there's holds that don't get called all the time, and it kind of pisses you off. But to go to your, if you don't mind me carrying on, man.
No, mate. I was going to ask you what you thought.
Yeah. Now, one thing we haven't seen is there's been no Grady Jarrett. Obviously, he's such a seasoned vet. Him and Joe Tooney haven't played preseason because they're just managing their workload. They don't need to. They're such solid pro. Absolutely top draw pros. So I do think that will make a difference. I think once we get him in there, I know Dexter's having a good season or a good preseason. He had a couple of good tackles for loss last time out, but I think it'll make a difference. And we get Big Billings and Grady Jarrett in the middle. We do need someone. I agree with that. I think it was Armando said we need another edge rusher. And again, that's the thing to remember about these cut downs is this is the initial 53. So, there's still some stuff that can happen, and it usually does before preseason. So there may be something coming on in between now and week 1. But again, we don't know because it's pre-season, they haven't got to disclose the real true nature of the injury, so we don't know what's going on
No.
with Austin Booker, do we? They said a few weeks, and it's a real shame because Booker was having a great pre-season, and you're hoping he could be that guy opposite Sweat that would elevate both their games, But I agree. They may have something in the fire because I think there's a couple of decent people have talked about Zadarius Smith, haven't they? And there's another. Who's the other edge that's available? What's his name? I can't remember. But I think Matthew Judon might be there as well if he wanted to take a punt on a solid sort of vet. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, you're right. They didn't really get enough pressure. I thought a couple of times they did. There was the odd hold that you think, oh, come on, give us a chance. But yeah, it was a good workout. Again, I think we also suffered from sometimes you can get sort of coverage pressure, can't you? When your backfield is covering so well that it takes more time to get the ball out. But because we were down so many cornerbacks, we didn't have our sort of top draw. They weren't really our firsts, were they? You could say in the backfield. But,
not really. I mean, especially when you get a cornerback, right when he gave up 2 penalties in a row, all in one go, and he's 30 yards.
A third of the field in one play. Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
He's having such a good pre-season, wasn't he?
And I also think as well, I think Brisker got completely owned by Kelsey. He completely owned Brisker. He really did. I thought, because he always does some little sneaky routes, and he absolutely owned Brisker. I thought Brisker just couldn't cover him at all. But yeah,
I don't get. That's again the thing to remind me is that's like one of the most effective partnerships in the NFL, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So, you want them to play. You want them to play well, but they've learned something from being tested by them for sure. I think so. Yeah, we'll see him in the Super Bowl, eh?
I love your spirit, Jason. I wish I were as positive as you, but I'm not. But yeah, it would just it would have been interesting to see what it would have been like if it had had Kyler Gordon playing and Jalen Johnson, if that had made a big difference. I think it would have done with Kyler Gordon playing, because especially when he sort of moves into the box. Because he don't mind getting his head stuck in with the tackling. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Edmonds didn't play, did he?
No, he's got an injury. He's injured. He's got a minor injury.
Oh, was it? Right.
Yeah.
So basically, our defensive backs really. I can remember. I'm sure we were speaking about it like previous weeks. Like, this is our unit with the most depth. And we're going to find that out really with like the injuries we've got, and they're saying like Jalen Johnson's going to be put onto the 53 active squad today. And I still won't say what the injury is. Like I watched Ben Johnson's interview, and he said, Pauls will tell you about that more or less. So ask the GM. But yeah, the sort of lack of pressure to the quarterback is really that is really worrying me. Really worrying me. And maybe, like you said, when Garrett's there in the middle, then that might make a big difference. But I think really I think Montez Sweat's got a lot to prove because he got paid a lot of money. And I know he was nicked up last year, but he had done fuck all, man, in this preseason, I don't think. Really. He hadn't dominated anybody. I mean, I don't know what his stats are, but I don't know if he's got many sacks at all, but I don't think he will have. So he needs to step up, man. And I think you could be right. I think they might bring somebody in, like defensive ending, who gets waived or released. Because, like you say, if Booker's sort of nicked up for another month, that's another body down. We're sort of waived a few defensive ends in the cuts today, so. I suppose it's part of the game, and the injury thing is just a part of sport, and it's how they manage it. But it's just because I would expect them to draft a defensive end in this year's draft, and it didn't sort of happen. So I thought, they might bring somebody in, like sort of a big name, not about Micah Richards or anything like that, but just somebody who's like been there, done it, and got the stats. It's going to be interesting, really, but we do need to get more pressure on the quarterback, and we do need to really sort of solidify the run defense. Really, I've just noticed, like in the preseason games, we seem to get gashed a bit. When the opposition's running up the middle. I think that's going to be interesting to see.
I do think just to follow on that, though, I do think that again, it's pre-season, so we're not going to see much of Dennis Allen's. He's not going to show any of his trickery, is he? He's not
True.
going to.
Good point,
I think
yeah.
he'll mix it up a bit more. I think when we come to the real deal, you know, to the regular season. So I think that I'm hoping that's just me doing the old copium. It's just that it's just. It'll be different because he's going to be, bringing out the whole playbook rather than just trying to keep it simple and seeing what guys have got. So,
yeah,
no, I agree. Yeah, hopefully we'll improve on that front and we'll see.
Yeah, and also as well, it's also well with pre-season. You got so many players going in and out, throughout the game that you don't get that sort of tight unit of starters. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great. I mean, any time that the Bears win is fucking amazing. I don't care if it's pre-season or not. And especially when it's against a well-coached side like the Kansas City Chiefs, who've got great players and have been, in the last sort of God knows how many Super Bowls. So I think really a lot of positives to take out these pre-season games. I feel a lot more confident than I did do this time last year going into the season. But anything more you want to touch on regarding the game, Jason?
No, I mean it's only, it's just nothing really worth mentioning now because we know the roster. So the player, anyone I was going to mention has been cut. Really, like Alex Cook's touchdown saving hit on the goal line, and the special teams obviously was a bit disappointing with a missed field goal and a block point.
Sorry, yeah.
But other than that, no, nothing really to go on about the game. I found the 53, so we can mention that in a minute if you want. But
cool.
If you want, we can do that first, or we can do.
Well, I think really it's that time for Jason's stat bomb. To be honest with you, mate.
I used the old one there.
I must admit, I actually prefer the old one than the new one.
I don't want
to. I just like it. I like how it's full screen and we're not in it, and it just looks better. But please go with this stat bomb. What you're being bigging up since we've been talking. So I hope it's going to be a good one, mate.
It'll be good now, isn't it? We're talking about it. Yeah, exactly.
You got half an hour to fill.
Yeah, I might be close actually. I could get the whole page out. So
wow.
Yes, I know.
I'll just get comfy, man.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, pull up a seat. I left shortly. I left the old one on there. I know you did, mate. I know you did. We don't want to upset you. It's all good. Anyway, so this week's stat bomb. It's after I mentioned last week about when we put the seconds in and thirds. It's like you said about getting gashed in the run game. I think it was missing tackles was starting to annoy me. So that's what it usually happens, isn't it? So I had a quick internet search for missed tackles. And lo and behold, as the NFL is a numbers game, I found a whole big page about it, right? Because as of last year, the Next Gen Stats, the guys at Next Gen Stats, they introduced a new AI model to start coming up with this stuff about missed tackles. And they came up with this thing they measure called tackle probability, which basically means the amount of opportunities that the team will get to tackle, how many of them they convert into a tackle, any missed tackles, also yards lost to missed tackles. So when you fluff it, how many yards you're giving up, and then fumbles forced. And they gave that they put all of those into a rank and then ranked all the teams from 1 to 32 in terms of, their tackling efficiency, as they called it. So that's what they've come up with is tackling probability and then tackling efficiency. So I went through the list. I thought I'd see what this is all about then. And number one, it's no surprise that it's generally the best teams have the best results here, as you may have expected, with a few sort of anomalies, like the Steelers came in at rank number 4th, but then we knew their defense was a strong point last year, wasn't it? Mm. But the Chiefs led the way, apparently, with 89.3% tackle efficiency. And of all the players in the NFL to have had 25 opportunities to make a tackle, they had 10 that converted at least 90% of their tackles, which was like the leading the way. The next best was 8 players for any other team. So statistically significant amount of their players actually complete their tackles. So is it Spagnuolo's system, or is it they just scout players that do the fundamentals really well? Either way, they had the most number of players that completed 90% of tackles or more. Incidentally, Leo Chenal, you may remember him, one of their linebackers they talked about a lot in the game. He had more forced fumbles than missed tackles last season. So he's wow. 3 forced fumbles, 2 missed tackles. The Ravens were next up at 89.2% efficiency. And they had the lowest number of yards given up on missed tackles, which was 544 for the whole season. which averaged out at 4.5 yards per missed tackle, is what they gave up, which was the league's best. And it was their total of 544 was 98 fewer than the next team. So again, statistically, like massively significant. Even though these are small numbers, over the course of 1,000 reps, it makes a big difference. Yeah. Third ranked was the Broncos, actually. So that was a bit of a surprise. Yeah. And they had a massive turnaround because the year before they were 30th in the NFL in efficiency of tackles with 85.4%. And this year they were fourth at 88.5%. And incidentally, in week 18 in their win over the Chiefs, they were the only team that season to convert every single tackle. So they didn't miss a single tackle all game. And that's the only game last year in which it happened when nobody missed a tackle.
Wow.
0 missed tackles in 31 attempts. The Commanders were ranked eighth overall. They had a big turnaround again from last year, 22nd ranked to 5th in tackle efficiency. And in the NFL, the entire league last season, there were only 4 players who got over 100 tackles at 93% efficiency. And two of them were on the Commanders. They were Bobby Wagner and Jeremy Chin. So they had half the players that managed that stat in the league. So that was effective for their defense.
Awesome.
There's some other little anomalies. I'll start again. You know me. I'm a stats geek. I love it. Right. So
I love it, mate. I love this. Go on.
Yeah, the Chargers are ranked 11th. Okay, in this efficiency of tackling. They had 4 players that missed at a missed tackle rate below 10%, which is tied for second most in the NFL for a player with more than 50 attempts. So they had some good players, and the good number of players that had efficient tackling. But when they missed a tackle, it really cost them because they had the league high 6.9 yards lost after every missed tackle. So that was the highest. Lowest was 4.5, I think it was, for the Ravens, and this was 6.9. So again, not massive difference, but statistically over amount of time, it makes a difference. 6 teams that conceded over 1,000 yards when they missed tackles. So they lost 1,000 yards extra when they missed a tackle. 6 teams. The highest number for that was the Colts, who ranked 29th overall. They gave up 1,183 yards after missing a tackle, which was the most in the league. They also had 10 or more missed tackles in 12 of their 17 games, and only once did they achieve a missed tackle rate below 10% in a game. So they were terrible at sticking their tackles, the Colts, and it showed. Incidentally, last was the Browns, which I need to find my page now. Look, I'm setting up for the Bears. I've kept that picture. Wait with me. Okay, bear with me. So the Browns, okay, they were ranked 31st in the league. Okay, get that picture. There it is. Right, so the Browns were ranked last in the league, 32nd, with 83.7 efficiency, and they were last in the NFL for this stat for the second year in a row. And this year's score was the lowest since the Raiders in 2020 in terms of missed tackles. So, interesting enough, though, Denzel Ward, Pro Bowl cornerback, so excellent in coverage, but he led the team with 20 missed tackles. So it just goes to show that each player's position has different parts of it that you need to be good at. And it's the third highest score amongst any cornerbacks for missed tackles. So awesome in coverage, not so great sticking his tackles. They also had a league high 10 players who missed at least 10 tackles, and 3 of them were below 70% conversion. So they had 3 players who missed 1 in 3 of their tackles, basically.
Wow.
And there was a couple of other interesting stats, which was one of the sort of turnarounds in the season, which is obviously must be coaching, mustn't it? Surely, unless a player back from injury or something.
Yeah.
The Eagles were quite noticeably different in terms of weeks 1 to 6. Their missed tackle rate was 15.7%, which was the second highest in the NFL, and they only forced 1 fumble in all those games. But from week 7 onwards, they reduced their missed tackle rate to 12.7%, so one of the best, and they forced 23 fumbles in the remaining games of the season. So, and that was 9 more than anyone else in that period. So, again, statistically, a huge amount, more than 50% more fumbles than anyone else. Yeah. So they turned it around enormously throughout the season, which may lead you to think, okay, Jason, what about the Bears?
I was just going to go, Jason. What about the Bears?
Funny you should say that, Chris. Well, the Bears actually, their tackling metrics were quite near the middle of the league in terms of rankings. The 87.9 tackling efficiency was the 10th highest in the NFL. And they fielded a defense that was just one of only 3 defenses in the entire league had with no single player missing 15 or more tackles in the season. So only 3 teams managed that. We were one of them. However, we did have every single starter in the back 7 missed at least 9 tackles. So it might be something we can work on. Maybe it's something they're aware of. I don't know. But also, to go back to Denzel Ward at Cleveland, also the same with Jalen Johnson. absolute lockdown corner, isn't he? One of the best in coverage. He actually had a 20.1% missed tackle rate, which was the 12th highest among cornerbacks with a minimum of 25 tackling opportunities. So just go to show it. Maybe it's a different part of the game. If they can't catch it, then you haven't got to worry about tackling them. So maybe that's the good thing. But yeah, I think that's probably it for now.
Well, yeah, great stat bomb as usual. That's made me think a lot, man. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm so glad you finally got round to the Bears.
Well, like I said, I could have gone on for ages, mate. I was, me, I'm a stat
You
geek.
should have done, mate. You should have done, because I know you put the work in.
That's right. I can't keep going on all the time.
I mean, I thought like the Bears would be sort of middle of the road, because it did sort of peter off, didn't it, the defense after a while. But yeah, that was a great stat bomb, mate. So I suppose the sort of final subject really is cut down day.
Roster, yeah. I've got the 53 here.
Oh, right. So you got the final 53 roster.
I have. Yeah.
Right. Great stuff. How do you want to do it? Do you want to do it by positional groups, or do you just want to run through it all? Or?
Well, we can. If you want to listen to me read out 53 names.
No, go for it, mate, because I need to know.
The interesting ones are kind of, a lot of it is, to be honest, what I expected. Some of you may be disappointed that Dom Robb is still on the team because he's in the 53. Austin Booker is named in the 53.
Good.
Shorty says, your stat bombs are always truly impressive, my friend. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I sometimes put a bit of work in. So, it's nice that you enjoy it. I find it interesting because I'm a massive geek. But,
I find it interesting. If I didn't, it wouldn't be on the show.
That's fair enough. Absolutely. I'll keep that in mind. So the players that have been cut, we knew about, I think everyone knew the ones before the show, didn't they? So the latest ones were Zach Pickens and Tyler Scott gone. So I've just list quickly the ones that have been cut. Is Tysheem Johnson, the safety, Doug Kramer, Bill Murray, Maurice Alexander, Miles Boykin even, Stephen Carlson, Britton Brown, the running back's gone, Jonathan Ford, the D tackle, Jamry Cromer, and Jordan McFadden, the guard, has been cut as well. So
I'm surprised Bill Murray's been. Are they being cut or are they being put on waivers?
It just says waived/released. So
imagine they'll be being put on waivers.
Yeah, it depends on the contract.
Obviously they might try and get some in players back on the practice squad.
Yeah,
because I'm surprised Bill Murray. I'm quite surprised Bill Murray's lost his spot. But then again, it might be
there were too many. There were too many. They had to keep. They are keeping 5 tackles. So Wright, Jones, Daniel Wright, Braxton Jones, Ozzy Trapillo, Kirana Magaji, and Theo Benedette are all in. So Joe Tooney for the guards, Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson, Ryan Bates, and Luke Newman, who's had an excellent preseason.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, right.
Allman at centre. So I'm guessing they think that both Bates or Newman can fill in at centre if required. So that's why Stromberg and Kramer have gone. So that'll be why. You can only fit so many on the team, can't you? So
that's right.
So if he says which centre, it was Stromberg and
Doug Kramer.
Doug Kramer are the other two. So they were the sort of the backup centres, weren't they? So yeah.
Well, but they might bring Kramer back as a fullback.
Oh, don't. In terms of running backs, mate. Yeah, in terms of running backs, DeAndre Swift, Roschon Johnson, and Carl Monongai are the 3 on the 53. That's it.
Is that all we got? 3?
Yeah. So
because they usually carry about 4, don't they? Usually carry 4 or 5.
I know, but I mean they've gone for 6, as I expected, 6 wide receivers. So DJ, Rome, Olamide is in there, Luther Burden, Devin Duvernay, and Jade Walker. To everyone's happiness, I think he's on there. Yeah. So he earned his spot, man. That body control for that sideline catch was incredible, absolutely incredible. And he's a beast. He's like 6'4", 200 pounds, and runs a 4.43 or something. I don't know. It's like he's a crazy athlete. So
yeah, I mean, I think he was like their main player at the college he came from. I think it was Texas A&M. White, their star. Wow.
Tight ends. We've only going with 3. I thought we might use 4 because he likes the 12.
So it's Roschon Johnson being cut on the running backs?
No, Roschon's in.
Oh, he's in. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift, Roschon Johnson, and Carl Monongai. It's the 3 on the 53.
That to me just seems a bit thin. It really does.
The thing is, they're going to. Yeah, it depends on. Again, we don't know the injury, do we? So we don't know the injuries. Hopefully, they're in good shape.
Has Homer been cut?
He went to. He's on the injured reserve or pup list.
Right.
So he'll miss at least. All those guys will miss at least 4 weeks. So interestingly, the ones that have been put on either injured reserve, physically unable to perform, or sort of reserve are Dion Hankins, which we knew about, Terrell Smith, whose season's over, Sean Wade, the cornerback, Zay Frazier is on there, obviously, Homer, and Amen Ogbongbemiga has gone on there as well. So, yeah, that means that obviously they can't play. I think it's at least 4 weeks they're going to miss, aren't they, for the season?
So, yeah.
On there now, he can't come back before then. So that's those guys. 4 safeties, as we expected, the usual 4. So Brisket, Barnard, Owens, and Hicks. 6 cornerbacks: Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson. Nashawn Wright is in the 53. Nick McLeod is named in there as well. Who had a decent preseason, nothing spectacular but decent. And Josh Blackwell, of course, who's Carl's favourite player. 5 linebackers, which is a surprise. So Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Ruben Hippolyte, Noah Sewell, and Carl Jones is in the 53.
Oh, I'm surprised about Carl Jones. I know the other guys have made an impression, especially Sewell.
Yeah,
he's made a big impression this pre-season, especially after the injuries he's had over the last sort of couple of seasons.
Yeah, he went out in the last game, didn't he? But hopefully he's fit. So, Evie says Wright made it. Do you mean Nashawn Wright? I mean, he had a really good pre-season, didn't he? He was and then he's had a couple of bad showings in the preseason games, but I'm guessing they think they've seen enough. Plus, with the nature of injuries, I think obviously I don't know if one of him or Wright or McLeod would not be there if Terrell Smith was fit and they didn't have his season ended by injury. But yeah, so 5 edge rushers: Sweat, Deo, Austin Booker, Daniel Hardy is there, and Don Robb. So hopefully Daniel Hardy can build on what he's done. 5 D tackles. So obviously Grady Jarrett, Dexter, Andrew Billings, Shamar Turner, and Chris Williams. I thought we saw a lot of Chris Williams in the preseason, didn't we? And he's so I think they've got some high hopes for him. So
good.
But yeah, that's the sort of major news. Anything else anyone wants to know? Just give me a shout. I have the list in front of me, but I think I've covered most of it. I know I've just mentioned this, but I am really surprised about the number of running backs unless they're going to bring somebody in. And also the tight ends as well. Well, probably not as much as the tight ends, but just due to Roshan Johnson. I mean, he had like the concussion last year, and he's had a foot injury throughout this pre-season. So is he 100% to go? What about if he's not 100%? That means we've got 2 fucking running backs. Well, the thing is, they'll be creative, wouldn't they? I think we've seen DJ Moore and Burden in the backfield, so we may see more of that. I think
but I don't think you could use DJ. Yeah, but you wouldn't want to use DJ Moore like a lot, though, would you? If you know what I mean, because you're going to lose him as being a wide receiver.
I know, but you're going to mix it up, aren't they? So I just think that's the plan. They obviously got their plan. We don't know the state of the injuries. Dave Bears UK2 says Komet will be on fire this season. I think so. I think Loveland are going to be the mainstay. I think although I can't even why I'm saying that. It's going to be just weapons everywhere, isn't it? So I do think Komet will have a good season. Because he had a bit of a down year because he just wasn't targeted, was he? He was like bloody missing last season.
Last year at all.
Yeah,
and it was such a shame because he made some really good catches last year. I mean, obviously he had that really good touchdown, what you saw down at Wembley. And then, and I'm sure it was last year when he had that awesome one-handed catch where he sort of caught in and got hit and spun around and managed to keep the ball. But yeah, I'm really surprised about the running back room because that's 3 running backs, man. Just doesn't.
The thing is, if you're going to play 12 personnel a lot, you only need 1 running back on the field, don't you?
Yeah, it's just sort of like if you get like a couple of guys nicked up. Then we've got 1 running back.
The thing is, you can say that about anything, can't you? They've got a practice squad. I'm sure there'll be a running back on the practice squad. There'll be someone they can pick up if they need to. I just think that's their plan. They'll go with 3 if they're going to use 1 most of the time. And if they lose 2 of them, then they can get someone else off the street, can't they? So I think you can't. It's always the same for everywhere, isn't it? Like we've seen, this pre-season, that we always said that our defensive backfield is a strength. and suddenly it's we're shitting ourselves thinking we haven't got any DBs.
A bit of liability.
It only takes a few injuries, and it's the same for everyone in all positions. So
True.
you go with your 53, and then this is just the initial 53, isn't it? Remember, like I said earlier,
Yeah.
There'll be some moves in the meantime because they might see someone who they has been cut somewhere else they like. They may want to do some wheeling and dealing and move, shift people around, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. But that's the 53. Interesting.
That's the initial 53, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they might try and bring Ian Wheeler back on the practice squad, and then he might get a touch through the season. Because he played all right. I mean, he got a couple of touchdowns, didn't he? And he did show like a lot of good pace and stuff. But then they're probably looking at, well, what sort of running back do we need? Do we want like a big bruiser, like a Rosen Johnson, or do we want like Swiss a bit more of a open field guy? So that might have a bit to do with thinking that Ian Wheeler is a bit too similar to the rookie Bagumai, who's going to be, hopefully he's going to be ready for the season as well. I know it's a soft tissue issue what he's got at the moment. So that could be a ligament or anything. So hopefully, because it's just so hard, because in the pre-season they don't have to sort of tell you what the injuries are. So it's a bit of a guessing game, really.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where we are, mate. That's interesting. Just got to let it sink in now.
Well, yeah, us as well. It definitely makes it feel like the season's upon us now.
Next step is week 1, man. Monday
night
football.
2 weeks. Well, it'll be 2 weeks yesterday, wasn't it, when the first game's going to be?
Yeah.
So,
Shorty's heartbroken. He says we needed Ian Wheeler's speed. I hope they bring him back. Yeah.
Yeah. It's because Shorty likes the sub story, you see. He likes the sub stories of, that he got injured and he fights back, you know what I mean?
I know. He won't be worried about that when he'll forgotten all about that once we're, tearing the field up. It's getting 500 yards a week and flipping 35 points. So,
So have you heard anything? Because obviously the Vikings are our first opponents. Have you heard anything much about them through the off-season? Have you picked up anything about them?
What did I hear? Didn't they? I can't remember now. Something they were. I know. Obviously, they're going to go with JJ and the starter, aren't they? They got rid of.
Yeah.
What else did I see? I can't remember. There was something of interest, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Only that obviously Jordan Addison's out for 3 weeks, so the number 2 receiver is out. Can have a quick look actually. Let's go and have a little nose at the. Bear with me. Have a little nose at them. It's Vikings to see what's going on with them.
Because I think we both sort of predicted the Bears win, didn't we, for the Vikings game, the first Vikings game?
Yeah, we did.
I mean, you would have predicted 17-0, so
I tried to keep it real and we'd lose 4 games.
Yes.
I know I'm unrealistic. I don't care. I'm a fan. I'm not a pundit. I don't get paid to be bloody negative and miserable. I just think we're going to win every week. I believe in sporting miracles, man. That's
well, yeah, and you bring it as well, mate. You know what I mean? I just worry about your blood pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They signed Carson Wentz. That's what they've done.
That's what I thought. I heard the signing of a QB.
That's it. They got rid of QB Sam Howell as well, didn't they? They traded Sam Howell. That's the other thing I saw from them. Look at that. You got me going now. Is that they waived Reddy Stewart, didn't they? If we need a cornerback, the guy we had on our practice squad on our preseason at camp last year, that people were saying, will he get a space? Had a couple of picks in one game, I think it was. So they released him. Trey Stewart, Michelle Powell, any big names? I think there was acquired a 6th-round pick from New York for DT Harrison Phillips. Nothing massive standing out here. Rondale Moore, injured reserve. He's a pacey wide receiver. Tackle Matt Nelson on injured reserve. So, nothing spectacularly interesting there from my point of view. I don't watch too many other teams closely.
No. I mean, I'm going to try and make a point of trying to sort of watch our sort of divisional rivals. Just like the 40-minute replay, I'm not going to sit there and watch Green Bay for 3 hours because they start to puke up and get really angry anyway. But
I'm punishing for something,
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I'm definitely going to try and sort of make a bit more of an effort to try and sort of see what our divisional rivals are doing, and I think that'll help us in upcoming shows as well to get, because you can get so sort of blinkered, doing podcasts and being a fan that you don't see the outside NFL world and what's happening, which could impact on the Bears. So definitely going to do that this year. But yeah, it just it creeps up, doesn't it, the season? Have you got
I love it. I've got something else to add for you, mate, actually, because it just reminded me that was just that Sam Howell trade. All right.
Yeah.
I was going to save this for another stat bomb, but you can have it now.
Go on, do it, mate.
Is Sam Howell got traded, didn't he? And he was the former Washington quarterback.
Yep.
And also Kenny Pickett, another quarterback. They were both taken in the 2022 draft. And both of them have been traded 3 times already in their first 4 seasons, which makes NFL history. They are now the only 2 players ever, at least the last 30 years to get traded 3 times in their first 4 NFL seasons.
Wow.
So, yeah, Pickett was a first-round pick for the Steelers in 2022, traded to the Eagles in 24, the Browns in March of this year, and then to the Raiders on Monday, because their backup QB has just had an injury, isn't he? So they got him to back up Geno Smith.
Yeah.
For the Raiders.
That's crazy, man. That must be. You imagine going through that, especially if you like one of the top picks as well in a draft, and your confidence must get knocked every time you get moved on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
I think it was a first-round pick as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then again, though, sometimes these players will take a bit of while to get going, like Geno Smith. I mean, he was all over the place years and years, and then he found a home in Seattle, got his game going, and he's a starting, regular starting QB at the Raiders, isn't he now? Yeah. So it does happen, but that must be, it must really hit your confidence a lot when you get FEB. What was that?
I know. It turns out it was a typo. I thought it just didn't like Eric Bieniemy for a moment, but Armando, apparently it's a typo. Yeah, we like Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, FGB.
I thought that was it. Yeah, you can say it because it's our show. Fuck Green Bay.
Yeah,
and anything to do with them.
Yeah,
anything more you want to add, Jason?
I think that's it. There's no questions in the chat, but just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us when there's been so much else going on. I know that another channel was having a live stream right now with a couple of these, insiders, NFL insiders. You chose to spend your time with us, so we are truly grateful from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for joining us in the show and joining in the chat. So Patty L, Evie Bedan Davis, Armando Lara, Junior, Squeegee, Shorty's there, of course. Squeegee again, Patty L, Shorty, Dave Bears UK. Good to see you, mate. Come and join us on the show.
See you, Dave.
Would like to. I am taking a short holiday in September, so you may want to come and chat with Chris. I know he's discussed with me. I can't help it, man. It's
But you are going to the Maldives, mate. So it sounds like you're going to Blackpool, is it?
I'll send you a picture.
You bastard.
Squeegee was there. And someone else popped in. There was another one there. Outspoken Inc. I haven't seen you around before, I don't think. But yeah, welcome. Hope you enjoyed chatting with us. And where are we? I think that might have been it from people in the chat. Anyone else who's around, watching, listening, wherever you may be consuming your podcast, thank you again for joining us. We're the British Bears. So a couple of idiot Bears fans across the pond doing our show on a UK time zone that's convenient rather than staying up till late to watch you guys. Yeah. Just fans that, love the Bears and like to chat about it. So, there's another one. Devin Macklin. FGB. Nice to meet you guys. This is my first time here. Welcome, Dev. Welcome to the show. Are you in the UK? If so, hit us up. Come and join us. Have a chat.
But I'd just like to say sort of just second really a lot what you said. I just want to thank everybody who's joined us. Obviously you had the choice between us and Aldo and Brian Billing. What's he called? Brian Billinger.
Brian Baldinger.
That's it.
He's got the
I won't be having a word of Aldo later on about that, about the scheduling, but it's cool. But I just want to thank everybody who's joined me. Show. It's great to see you, Dave, UK. I've seen you on X a few times, and I hope you enjoy the show. And I'd love to have you on as a guest, man. Because I know you've been to Soldier Field and you're like a proper fan. I just want to thank Shorty as usual for letting us go on BCP. I'd like to say a thank you to our fellow BCP hosts. I'd like to thank you, Jason, for that stat bomb. That was a great stat bomb. So, all right, well, you have to come on the show. Come on the show, man. Yeah, especially if you're surrounded by Cowboy fans, because they're about as bad as Green Bay fans. So, if you want to come on and speak to us English blokes, then you're more than welcome. But yeah, just thank you everybody for the continued support. I can't wait for the season to start. So we're actually talking about real football.
Nearly here, man. Come on. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm getting excited, mate. So, I think we'll leave it there, mate. I think we'll just finish the show off with a bear down, and then we'll see all you folks next week. Everybody have a safe week and look after each other, and we'll just finish off with a bear down. Bear down.
Bear down.
We are all bears. The British Bears.